Hey guys, it's Karen. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about how we define ourselves. Like, who am I? Who have I decided I am? Um, so we all have traumas and negative influences or experiences that we've had in our lives, right? Um, they vary from person to person, but I don't believe that there's any one person in this world who hasn't had some form of trauma or a negative experience that weighs on them um, to some point, right? So, for some of us, that could look like parents who struggled um, in various ways, were abusive, or had substance abuse problems, or whatever, right? It could have been an abusive relationship that we were in, um, just anything, right? Even something like parents being divorced at a young age and fighting, right? Point is that those traumas, those negative experiences, those things, they do play a part in our lives. But it's up to us to choose what part they play, right? Am I going to choose to let those experiences define me and hold me back? Am I going to be a victim? Choose to be a victim? Am I going to use these experiences as a label or a crutch? Am I going to label myself as the victim or the survivor, even, right? Am I going to give myself that label and now have that crutch? Or am I going to use those experiences as tools to gain more wisdom, to be able to follow the path that I'm supposed to be on, to gain strength and wisdom, right? Um, so I guess, like, for me, I came from some traumatic experiences. I don't like to label myself as a survivor because I feel like really any labels are just not good. Like, why label myself as anything? I don't need a label. I'm who I am, right? And I definitely don't want to label myself as a victim or play the part of a victim because I'm not. I'm nobody's victim. I've had learning experiences and I've remained teachable. And with everything that I've been through, I've gained wisdom and knowledge on how to not only overcome those things and be prepared for anything else that might come my way, but the biggest part is that I've gained knowledge and experience that will help me to be able to help somebody else get through those things if they're faced with them, right? So I now have this knowledge and ability to be empathetic to a lot of people that, thank God, not all of us can um, share that commonality with. And I am able to have that empathy because I've been there. And that experience gave me the tools to know how to navigate through it and how not to, right? So for me, I guess in a way, those experiences do still kind of define me in a way, but not in a negative way. They are my positive um, stepping stones, if you will. Like, I use those experiences to show me who I'm not going to be, right? Instead of who I am going to be. My trauma has shown me who I don't want to be, who I'm not going to be, right? Um, Watching the mistakes that my family, my parents, and others in my past made were learning experiences just like you'd get if you had a parent who taught you how to do everything, who nurtured you in all the right ways, right? You learn that example. Well, for me, I learned a lot of those examples too. I did have those people in my life. Um, but I learned a lot of the experiences on what you shouldn't do. Right? And that doesn't mean that I knew how to do it otherwise, but it gave me a good start of how how things shouldn't be done, right? Um, so that's my way of looking at it, to where I'm not in a negative light, right? I learned all the things you shouldn't do first. um, and then, I think it's important that we don't let others label or define us as at all either. Because of my history, because of my background, um, a lot of people tried to put labels on me. Like, I was this survivor of child abuse. I was this um, survivor of cancer, survivor of this. I was a childhood victim. You open a doctor's chart and it says, PTSD and ADHD and all this stuff. I don't accept any of those labels. Those labels are not me. I am none of those things. I'm just not. I'm Karen. That's who I am. That's my label. I am who I choose to be when I choose to be it. I'm not some label that some doctor or that read some book and got A on his test in school and has no life experience gave me. Okay, that's not me. That's not who I am. And that's not who I'll ever choose to be. And that is my choice. It is our choice who we are, what labels we decide to have, if any, right? Um, we choose what we're going to allow to define us. We choose how we're going to allow our experiences to work in our lives. Are we going to allow them to work negatively? Are we going to allow them to be positive? Um, and that's resilience, right? We can't. It's going to look different for everybody. It's not like I just went through trauma and the next day I was like, hey, this is my strength. No, I still had to go through the emotions. I had to work through it. It was a lot of work, and it's still work. Um, I'm not just healed one day because I said, oh, I don't want to label, so now it's all going to go away. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. It would be great if it did, right? Um, but I am able to look at things now and realize, the trauma from this situation, how is that affecting my life now? What am I allowing this? Because those people, if somebody traumatized you, if somebody abused you, if you're allowing that to affect your life now, you're still giving them power over you. If it was an abusive ex-husband or ex-wife or whatever, right? And you're still talking about that now, 7, 10, however many years later, you're still talking about what happened in that relationship, then it's evident that you still have healing that you have to do, because you are still allowing them that control over you and what's going on with you. Don't give them that control. Don't focus on the past, right? The past is done. It's gone. It helped define who you are now. It helped you get to who you are now. Now let's focus on right now and the future. What are you going to do with those experiences? How are you going to use those to not only better yourself, but to better the world around you and the people in your world, right? How are you going to make life better with those experiences that you've had? Because every experience holds a story, it holds a teaching. Something is in there that you needed, a lesson. That's what I was looking for. There's a lesson in every experience. You just, sometimes you got to look a little harder for it. You can't go, why is this always happening to me? Why does this happen? Why is that, everybody hates me, what was me? You can't do that. And it's hard not to, right? Especially if there is just a stretch of things that just seems like, oh my freaking Lord, like what is next, right? But chances are there's a lesson in there that you're not seeing yet. So you're having to relive this experience because you're not looking at the lesson. So remember, when these things are happening, whether it be getting fired from 3 jobs in a row, right? Or whatever, most likely you're not in the line of work you should be in. You're not living your purpose. So your guides are trying to tell you, here's your lesson. this is not your purpose. You're not supposed to be doing this. You know, there is a lesson. You just, sometimes you got to open your eyes and kind of look for it, you know, because our guides don't just give us the answer. They don't just go like, you're supposed to do this, this, and this, and this, in this order. They don't want to do that. We have free will. We have our choices. They're guides. They give you the signs and the things to follow, so that you can define yourself in the way that they know you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be. But it's up to us to pick up on those signs and those cues and that guidance, right? To trust that guidance, the little voice in your head. So I guess when it comes down to it, the big thing is just remembering that life is exactly what you choose to make it. We all have a choice. So no matter what the experience, whether it be good or bad, it could be the best day or the worst day of your life. No matter what that experience is, it's up to us what we choose to do with it, what lesson we decide to take from it, and how we're going to use that lesson in our future to make life better, right? Guys, that's it. Yes, if you have any questions, thoughts, any ideas that could word what I just tried to say better than I did, put it in the comments, chat box, whatever it's called. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I could talk for a very, very long time about it because I really, really am a firm believer that we make life what it is. Our thoughts, our feelings, our way of viewing our experiences is what makes life what it is. So if we can find that positive in every experience, life is positive. So, you know, live life to its fullest. Find that silver lining in everything because it's there. All right, guys.